It is Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by T-Mobile. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. It is happy Cinco de Mayo. Did you go party it up today?
I forgot it was Cinco de Mayo. I'm definitely having tacos today. No doubt about that.
Good.
Okay.
Will you order them or make them?
Oh, today's an order day for me. There's no doubt about it. I was out a little late last night.
Do anything
Saw
fun?
a comedy show.
Oh,
at the Hollywood Bowl. Yeah.
Do tell. I love comedy.
It was a Netflix thing. Like Shane Gillis and a bunch of people were there. It was really good. The Hollywood Bowl is an incredible venue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good time.
How is it for comedy? I've only seen concerts there.
I mean, it's just, they're out there on stage. Okay. You don't really have to worry about the acoustics or anything.
No, you really don't.
Just listen to them and laugh. It was good.
You don't. All right, good. Look forward. When's that coming out?
Oh, I don't know if it was like a special or something. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
I did get to hear they're roasting Kevin Hart
on
Friday, I think it is, and he put some of his material out last night. Okay. It's going to be some stuff.
Oh, yeah. Those roasts are always pretty good. Great. Leave in the comments your favorite comedian. Let's go.
Okay.
I like comedy shows. I would definitely go see those many times over. Meantime, in the baseball world, the Yankees just keep moseying right along. They end up sweeping a 4-game set from the Orioles. They've won 14-16. Obviously, the big news is what we spent the top of yesterday's show talking about, the passing of their legendary radio play-by-play man, John Sterling. And they honored him before the game. Michael Kay, Susan Waldman placing a bouquet of flowers out at home plate. Passed away at the age of 87. His dear friend Michael Kay even honored the memory of John Sterling during the game.
And the pitch. High drive. Right center field. Going back to Veras. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Aaron Judge. A Judgian blast. Here comes the Judge.
There were several tributes like that throughout baseball by play-by-play people, whether it was on TV or radio. In fact, the Mets radio crowd, after they won a game out in Colorado, did the Mets win. And I thought it was wonderful the way that the entire community kind of banded together to remember a guy who brought so much.
Yeah, he just gave his life to the sport. And I think when I got into broadcasting, you start to understand just how much these guys mean to the game and to these organizations, and especially a guy like Sterling. So, yeah, it's really cool, and he deserves it all.
Yeah, it was neat. As far as the games go, the Detroit Tigers lost on Monday. They fell at home to Boston by a single run. That came a few hours after it was announced that their 2-time Cy Young Award winner, Tarik Skubal, is going to be out for the next several months because he's got loose bodies. That has become a very famous thing in his pitching elbow. Here's his skipper, A.J. Hinch, prior to the game.
The next part of this will be governing him, getting himself back to 100% because, he's going to attack this very aggressively. He's going to want to be back very soon and complete as much of the season as he can and pitch deep into October. That hasn't changed at all out of him. The route to get there is a little bit bumpy now. So a team takes that body blow or that uppercut or that punch, and it hits you for a minute, and then you got to get back to competing. I mean, we have a game tonight.
Yeah, they had a game in which they led late, and then they gave up the lead and ended up losing to Boston. So there's a lot to break down here. Let's start with this. If you're Scott Harris, one of the executives of the Tigers, do you try and work a trade?
I mean, you definitely call around, but it's such a weird time for that, Chris. I mean, we're sitting here, you just said Cinco de Mayo. It's pretty early in the season. Does it happen from time to time? Sure, but I think a lot of teams have their roster set, and they're still trying to figure out what's going on. Even the Mets and the Phillies. I know you're going to bring those teams up. I still feel like it's a little early to go throwing the season away. That's just a bad look for fans. If you're the Mets and you start trading off pieces, you can't send that message not on May 5th. So he can try, but I think more of this is going to come from his organization. I know they brought the guy up, Ty Madden, to replace him. They have Troy Melton working on his rehab assignment, trying to lengthen him out. See how that goes. You did sign Drew Anderson, my former Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs teammate, and he's kind of been like a swing type pitcher. He's probably going to get a shot to start some games as well, and I think that's what they're going to have to do. I think it's going to be really hard for them to go outside of the organization right now. Prove me wrong. And we did just see a Jonah Heim trade. So there's that. But I'm assuming they're going to have to work from within the organization until it gets a little bit closer to the deadline.
Yeah, I don't think that any of the guys that you mentioned, they're not going to pry Freddie Peralta loose quite yet. I don't think they could get a Robbie Ray from San Francisco, although that one would certainly make sense as well because he's in his walk year and is familiar with the Detroit organization. So no, I'm going to say they're not going to, right? Casey Mize, it sounds like his injury is not major, that he is one of, I think they've got 14 players, and Skubal officially goes on, 14 players on that injured list. Will Vest is one that I'm really worried about in the bullpen because that's an arm issue, a forearm issue, and he has been so good for them over the last couple of years. Justin Verlander we think he'll come back at some point, but when you're 42 years old and you're dealing with, I think, a hip issue, I can tell you this, hips don't get better as you get older.
That sounds terrible.
It does sound really bad. You
like
might get out there
with a hip. Come on, man. He's not
walker,
70.
Take a walker out to Comerica, put it behind the mound. If it hits it like you're in Little League, if you hit the pitching machine, ball's dead. You hit Verlander's walker, ball's dead.
You're so disrespectful.
Wait a second. I'm an old guy. I can tell you that. So I don't think that that's happening. And by the way, the second half of the year, they hope they have Jackson Jobe at some point. There's another name. This loose bodies thing. Did we change this from bone spurs to loose bodies, by the way, somewhere along the route? Or those two different things?
I think bone spurs are different than loose bodies. I don't think bone spurs are loose in the elbow. And to my knowledge, everybody's got loose bodies in like their shoulder and their elbow.
Right.
But like, is it bothering you? Do you feel it?
The way that Hinch was describing it during his press conference, he said his arm was locking up. That doesn't sound good at all. So whatever it is, if it's 2 months, if it's 3 months, we'll see in the second half of the year. Unless
can I say something.
Yeah.
Are you going to get into this? Because I feel like I have a thought.
Please share.
Hinch is saying all the right things. And I'm sure Scoobs is saying all the right things right now. Guys, I'm going to get back and I'm going to be in this thing. I'd pump the brakes on that a little bit. We're talking about a walk year. We're talking about you just had it might be a minor injury, but this is a major scare for a pitcher that's about to enter free agency and has turned down quite a bit of money. I know nothing compared to what he's going to make in free agency or what he would have made in free agency. But like, this is your future. I just don't know if you get the mindset back. And I know Scoobs is one of the most fierce competitors in the game. I understand that. But to expect him to come back and be the guy he's been for the Tigers in the last couple of years, as far as just taking the ball whenever and going deep into games all through October, I have a hard time seeing that happening. Like look, maybe I'll be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong for the Tigers fans' sake. But if you just think about it, especially from his perspective, it changes a little bit. There's no way the intensity can still be there when you're weighing those two things in front of you.
What does he owe the team?
He owes the team. You can't say he doesn't owe the team anything. You still feel like you want to do it for your guys and the organization and the city and all that stuff. But again, it's like you start to think about your future. That's a normal human reaction.
How can he not? Here's a list of the major things that he has had over the last decade. Tommy John surgery in college at Seattle nearly a decade ago. 4 years ago, flexor tendon surgery, missed almost an entire year from the middle of 22 to the middle of 23. And finally, we have the loose bodies, which, although it sounds like it is far and away the least invasive surgery, and, there's Hunter Green, there's Edwin Diaz, now there's Tarik Skubal that's been dealing with this. Only one of them is going to make an enormous salary in free agency this upcoming season. How Scott Boras cannot sit him down would be beyond me. I mean, let's be honest here. If we could have Scott Boras on here today and say, Hey, man, what do you tell him? What do you tell your prize client who is reportedly turned down a nice, whatever it was, nine-figure offer from the Tigers, and now has a chance to maybe reset the pitching market? What do you tell him? What do you think Scott's telling him?
He's telling him, we got to look out for yourself. You got to look out for your future. That's exactly what he's telling him. You need to know what the insurance policy is. Clearly, he has one on his arm. And I think, to my knowledge, for the most part, those insurance policies cover, like, if you can't. Well, I mean, it all depends. Like, how much it'll affect your future earning. If you can't pitch, it's probably a bigger sum than if it's. There's just a lot of things going on right here. But to your point, yes, Scott is sitting him down saying, we need to really have a clear view of our plan here.
Do you think, though, isn't it possible it might benefit him to show everybody that he came back healthy? No?
I don't think from this. No, I don't think this is something that teams are like, oh yeah, like we got to see him pitch again. Like, it's not that type of injury, but I'm just saying, like, mentally coming back and being like, okay, that was a close one. Like, he's going to come back and pitch. There's no doubt about that. He's going to come back and pitch. I'm just thinking, like, the way that he's been used the last couple of years, late in the year into October, I'm questioning if that's going to happen again.
So do you think that they will dictate, they meaning Skubal, Boris, will dictate the terms to the Tigers? Because if so, this can get really messy. This happened with Steven Strasburg and the Nationals, and
Yep.
it wasn't pretty.
Happened to Josh Hader, not pitching back-to-back days. There are definitely times where this goes down. I think it'll be a collaborative effort. I think there'll be talks back and forth.
Let's remember, the Tigers had to scratch and claw to get into the postseason last year after blowing a 15.5-game lead to Cleveland. I mean, now it's anybody's ball game in the Central. Hell, we might be talking about the White Sox. We brought that up on yesterday's show. We might be talking about your Twins. I know I had the Tigers win in the Central at the beginning of the year, didn't you?
I think so, probably.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Would you like a retee on that right now?
It's such a close division. That's a nice way to say it.
I think the Tigers are freaking fortunate they're in the division that they're in.
Oh, yeah.
This would be
me too.
This would be a totally different discussion about Skubal.
In the near future, it's going to be tough for them to reel off wins. I think they're going to have to really play solid baseball to hover around 500 where they're at right now. So if I had to pick today, like, who's going to win the AL Central, I will not pick the Tigers. I don't know who I pick. I guess at a default, I'd probably pick the Guardians.
I think you probably go Royals or Guardians.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm going Guardians over the Royals. I know they're starting to get it a little bit there.
Yeah, the Tigers' issue isn't just Skubal. It's what I mentioned, that they've got 14 guys, I think, on the injured list, including some enormous names. And there's a couple other guys that are kind of day-to-day-ish right now, who are guys that they're counting on. But this was the nightmare. When you don't go out and get a major bat for the lineup, I mean, there is nobody else in the division that has a $30 million pitcher like Framber Valdez. Like, he's been the head of Houston's rotation the last couple of years. I know that Hunter Brown jumped him last year, but he has been the guy that they have relied on even when other big-name dudes have left. So shouldn't we expect more out of Framber Valdez in this? Like, this is it.
Expect more out of him how? He's going to he's going to help that rotation, but there's five. You got to go 5 deep, and I don't think they really have that right now.
Okay. I don't know. Let us know who is the front runner. I think I would go Kansas City just because I had them making it as a wild card. But I'm telling you, at the beginning of the year, I know people are sick of this. I picked Kansas City to be a wild card behind Detroit. So why wouldn't I just move Kansas City up one spot?
Well, you can say that, but I know what you truly believe behind all of that scabbing and scar tissue you talk about.
Yeah. The more important question we need answered in the comments is, do you think that how much does Skubal's impending free agency determine how he plays out the rest of this year? Because I think, Trevor, you're onto something. I really do. I think they're all playing nicey and saying nice things, although we haven't heard from Skubal yet. That'll be interesting because somebody is going to inevitably ask him, dude, you've got free agency where you have a chance to reset the pitching market. How slow do you roll this out? And I think, do you have a problem if he slow rolls it?
No.
As a competitor, you don't.
It's the smart thing to do anyway. And slow roll it can mean a ton of different things. I think initially you can't come in guns a-blazing. Like, you got to work your way back in. Now, I think Tigers fans are let's just assume they make the playoffs and Skubal comes back, slow rolls it during the regular season. I mean, they're talking he could be back by, late July and August, right? Okay.
Sure.
So let's say slow rolls it in August, September kind of regular starts. And then when it comes to October, it wouldn't surprise me if he kind of went for it in October, though. So that's something Tigers fans could be happy about. But you got to be in the race at that time.
Now, different injury, totally different injury and situation. But I do want to bring up Shane Bieber. He came back last year, traded by Cleveland, even though he hadn't pitched. He was coming off of Tommy John. Pitched a lot for the Blue Jays, particularly in the playoffs. We haven't seen it.
And this isn't a structural issue. So if he's out pitching and feeling fine, then is he going to go back-to-back days in the playoffs? Like, have a start and then come close a game out? Like, I don't know, man. Like, that, to me, that sounds like a no. That sounds like that's something that'll be discussed between him and the organization, and they'll say that's not going to happen, and just plan on that. I think as long as they're open with each other and say, look, we're not going back-to-back days, just make sure you understand that. Like, it's not a question.
He's not going to pull a Yamamoto.
Exactly. That's no.
I think that's fair because that doesn't happen very often. I will say this, that Tarik Skubal has endeared himself as one of the most fun-loving, famous athletes currently in Motown. I'm talking about all four of the major sports there. Like, he is beloved there. I hope that because of this injury and his impending free agency, that team and player can get on the same page, because you don't want stories being written, well, here it is, Tiger season on the line, and he's not pitching as frequently as people would like. This isn't CC Sabathia 2008 with the Milwaukee Brewers, where he says, I don't give a damn. Even if I'm a free agent, give me the ball every 3 days. So it's a lot of interesting stuff. How do you see that playing out? A lot to get to in the comments situation. We appreciate that. We wish him well, though. Hopefully he gets back. Baseball's better with him around there. This episode of Baseball Today, it's sponsored by T-Mobile. Whether you're on the go at the ballpark, T-Mobile is built to keep you connected wherever the game takes you. With America's best network, your phone is going to work even in a crowded stadium. We've all been there. We know the feeling. Your team hits a walk-off. Everybody's trying to text or post or send videos at exactly the same time, and suddenly your phone won't load a damn thing. Or when you're trying to stream the game while you're on the move and the feeds keep buffering at the worst possible moment. Those are the moments that matter to real baseball fans, and a drop signal shouldn't be the reason that you miss any of the action. T-Mobile's network is built specifically to handle all of it. We're talking about packed stadiums, big moments, no problem. Find out now. Baseball hits different with T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com/MLB. The fastest based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data of national speed score results for 2H 2025. Best based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data 2H 2025. All right. Braves and Mariners, not sure if you stayed up late for this one, but boy, it was fun. The Braves took an early 4-0 lead, thanks in part to back-to-back homers. Seattle stormed all the way back. Crawford hit a moonshot. It looked like a Michael Dixon of the Seahawks punt down the right field line. They came back after getting swept at home by the Royals and ended up winning the first of a series against the Atlanta Braves. Maybe on an individual side, the bigger deal is that the Braves busted out this welcome mat.
And Olsen out to center field. There it
Yeah, that kind of snuck up on us, didn't it? Out of nowhere.
That's such a pretty swing, Chris.
I know it is. So he's 32. He just hit number 300. Is it possible we have been sleeping on a Hall of Fame trajectory for the Braves first baseman?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know if he's been a guy we discuss like this. I think
Never.
from time to time that we get, like we just talked about Max Fried, and is he Hall of Fame bound, and what's he got to do? We get these guys, when they hit round numbers like this, but I don't think we personally have talked about Matt Olson. And the more you start to think about it, it's like, okay, what does it take to get in the Hall of Fame? And it's longevity. That's probably the number one thing. Like, you got to play for a long time. And then you have to be productive in those years. He's 32 years old. He's productive as ever. And what does this guy do better than anybody right now?
Plays every day.
He plays every single day. So right now, 42.2 B-WAR and 300 homers. I just took his last 3 seasons, and you don't even really have to average it out because he plays 162 every year. Let's just call it for the next 5 years, Chris. To put him to age 37, he has an average year over the last 3 years, which is per 162 is this. It's 31 homers, and 5.6 is what he's been averaging. I'm giving him 5 WAR a year for the next 5 years. He's going to play beyond that too, but let's just do that. That right there is another 25 career WAR, which would put him close to 70, 67 WAR.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 30 homers times 5 is 150. It put him at 450 homers. I think that guy's making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. He's going to have to get to 500 to be there, in my opinion.
I'm not so sure he is.
I know.
Chris.
So hear me out. And you're right about the playing every day thing it's incredible. He's missed 6 regular season games. That's another
storyline that voters can hang their hat on. Is
true.
This guy was our generation's Iron Man.
So he's missed 6 games since 2020. 6. Yeah, he's got this incredible run where he punches 162 like each of the last 3 or 4 years, whatever it is. He just turned 32 at the beginning of the season. So I went back and looked at a couple of first basemen / DHs later in their career. How old were they when they got to 300? And the 2 guys I really honed in on were Eddie Murray and Jim Thome. And they were both 31. So they got there a smidge earlier. Here's the other stuff. He has 1 top 5 MVP finish. I'm talking about Matt Olson, and 1 other in the top 8. Now we're starting to get closer to kind of Eddie Murray type productions. Because Eddie Murray, I don't think ever had a home run season where he was over 40. And we know that Olson hit over 50 a couple of years ago. But he was just remarkably consistent in that Orioles lineup for years. He had almost a 70 career WAR. Really good defender at first base. But he also had 3,000 hits. 3,000 hits and 500 homers. Matt Olson doesn't even have 1,200 career hits. That's not on the table for him. A good run for him is going to end up being in the 2,300, 2,400 range, I think, at the end of the day. If he gets there and plays long enough, that would be a remarkable run for him. So he's got to hit 500 homers, in my opinion, or it's not happening. The guy who, once again, another guy who's really close, comparatively speaking, numbers-wise, was the crime dog, Fred McGriff. He did not get to 500. He got to 493. If we don't have that strike-shortened season in 94, he gets there, no problem. But he needed a special committee to make it. It wasn't even the baseball writers that put him in. So I really think that we have to circle 500 homers, and I think that's going to be the tell-all. I don't think if he gets to 460 homers and plays a considerable amount of games that's going to be good enough for Matt Olson to get in.
Look one thing up real quick for you, Chris.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I know people are like, why y'all are discussing some weird stuff. That's what happens. That's the fun part of being a baseball fan. When guys get to certain numbers, that's what makes the discussion fun.
Is Joey Votto a Hall of Famer?
So Votto ended up hitting what? I'm going to guess he ended up hitting 337 homers.
356, excuse me.
Okay. He won an MVP.
Did win an MVP.
In 2012 or 2010? Which year?
Let's see. I don't really know. 2010.
Okay. How many other top fives would he have had? Maybe one or two? Maybe?
He has MVP 1 in 2010, MVP 6 in 2011, MVP 6 in 2013, MVP 3 in 2015, MVP 2 in 2017.
And his career OPS, I'm going to say, is probably, because his on base was such a monster, it's probably 881.
920.
Oh, yeah. No,
He slugged too. He's a 409, 511 guy.
Yeah, then he's a much better candidate because Matt Olson's career OPS.
But why? I get the OPS and I get the MVP, but you all you talked about with Matt Olson was round numbers.
Yes.
Joey Votto didn't get any of those round numbers.
I know, but Joey Votto won an MVP. That's a huge thing for people. I mean, if you were to talk about the contributions to the game, Joey Votto is more significant than Matt Olson. We didn't even know Matt Olson was close to 300 homers.
I'm just curious. I don't know, man. We have an MVP 8 and 4 for Matt Olson.
Right. And wherever he finishes this year, because if, he'll be the Braves voting rep.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting. If he wins the MVP this year, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. Joey Votto's.
Yeah, Joey Votto never had to go up against Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge for that matter.
Listen, dude, the minute you told me about his OPS, that blows Olson's out of the water by 70 points?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That's pretty significant. It's just something to keep your eye on as we continue to move forward. I'd love to see him make it a discussion. Good guy, really good player, great glove over there, multi-time Gold Glove winner. So he's got that as well.
Yeah, that helps him a ton. His defense is really good. I'll never forget what we will call the Last Supper with me, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, and Chad Pinder before everyone got shipped out of Oakland, baby.
True or false? Chad Pinder in Chris Rose's cell phone.
Oh, you got to have I call him Chaz. Chaz Pinder, my guy.
Yes.
He's an excellent human being.
100%. Okay. Yeah, he is a good one. He's a great one. All right. Let us know where you sit on Matt Olson, on the Hall of Fame trajectory. Joey Votto's name just got mentioned. Any other first baseman you want to compare him to? Maybe we can go, aha, that was a good one. Now it's time for the Baja Blast of the week. It's presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Take a look at the 420-foot-plus home runs from the last week. This is always a fun part of the show. Start off with Brian Reynolds. Oh, the Buccos, they took it to the Cincinnati Reds.
Ooh.
You like them wearing those unis, by the way? That's 443.
Oh, up into the hedges. It works for the Pirates because if you just think about Pirates, you think about like dudes in all black on the open sea. Yeah. So the black works for the Pirates.
Yeah, but the lighting there at the stadium,
it's very dark.
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber making his feels like weekly appearance in this. Yeah, 445 as he ended up hitting, what was it, 350 and 351 in the doubleheader against San Francisco. That was pretty cool for him.
One of the sweetest swings in the game right there.
Ramon Laureano, boy, what a pickup he's been for the Padres. He was great for the Orioles before the trade last year, and he's been just such a solid right-handed bat. 446.
Ooh. Left center up in San Francisco, that's a bomb.
Early season at night.
I was watching this one live.
Okamoto.
My gosh, Chris.
453.
Balls don't go where he hit that ball. I've only seen probably, 3 or 4 go up there.
The two Japanese rookies, we've been amazed by their power, but Seiya Suzuki is like, do not forget about me. He has been on a home run barrage. 454 right here.
Yeah, that was an answer back home run right there. 3-run Johnny.
Yeah, that was big. Yeah. Remember, for the MLB season, keep a close eye on the 420-foot-plus home runs that unlock your free Baja Blasts. All right, speaking of Saya, this is great. NL Central had a pair of big-time matchups. We had the Reds at the Cubs, the Brewers at the Cards. We are actually going to start in St. Louis. The youngest team in baseball, they just continue to wow us. They took it to the defending division champions last night in the series opener. 6-3 was the final. Ivan Herrera, that's a guy who we really don't talk about very much. Bases clearing double to make it a 4-0 lead. That was huge. They've improved to 21-14. That's a nice win. They still remain a game and a half back of the Cubs in the division because Chicago could just not lose at home.
Fly ball, left center field. This one back on its way. Ball game. Cubs win. Michael Conforto walks it off.
It's like a dream. It's unbelievable. I mean, this place is so great. The way the fans engage, they get quiet when they're locked in. And then they get loud when there's big plays and big moments. You can just feel how locked in this fan base is, and it's been a lot of fun.
Pinch hitting is not easy, I've been told. Pinch hitting when you haven't seen live game pitching for several days like Conforto hadn't feels virtually impossible, and he ends up going oppo for a game winner. You had to be impressed.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of know what you're going to get with Pagan, but like you said, just to go up there and go oppo like that, I think the ball, I don't know if the ball was flying. It seemed like it definitely wasn't held back last night, but that's just a big time hit, big time moment. And yeah, of course you're going to love the crowd after that.
Has there ever been a guy who had a more miserable season than Conforto did while winning a World Series ring?
You know what? I just went and looked up his career earnings. I don't think
know
that miserable.
I know
miserable.
He made $17 million, I think, last year to not get a playoff at bat and be a negative WAR player.
So what's he making this year? I don't have the deal in front of me. Dan, can you find that out?
I don't remember what he's making either.
Was it like a major league deal or was it a split contract?
I think it was a major league deal.
Because up until today, you want to guess what he's?
I mean, 1 year, $2 million. I'm going to say up until now, God, he's got to be close because he had that 2-year, like $34 million deal with San Francisco, I want to say. I'm going to say he's made 91.
Came up a little above. 78 before this year. He's going to get to 80. Or I guess actually 81 after this year. That's a lot of change.
Yeah.
Hard to be mad if you're in the big leagues with 81 mil.
I know, but you understand my point is that there are guys, it's still.
If that's mad, I want to be mad.
That's good. So this division is great. And I know first of all, did you see the PCA triple? Were you watching? Oh, you were at the comedy show.
I saw the highlight.
So PCA hits the leadoff triple. Dane Myers came in as a replacement. Looked like he had it. Got kind of tangled in the ivy. Might have missed time to jump. He makes that catch. I think the Reds win that game.
It's so difficult to go out there and try to navigate that wall. You got Ivy just clawing at your glove, trying to get the ball out of it.
And by the way, Reds fans are livid over Pagan, who just blew his third save, I think, in 9 chances, has an ERA over 6 after he was so good last year. And this is what Terry Francona does, by the way. Terry Francona sticks with guys. He did it with Brian Shaw forever in Cleveland. Forever. So Reds fans, you just got to know what you're dealing with here. He just doesn't make changes. He believes in veterans, and that's how he rolls.
Who's the other guy that he always threw out? There's a Cody Allen.
Well, Cody Allen was great.
Cody Allen's good.
There was never a time where Cody Allen struggled, and you were like, man, why is he going back to him? But this is what it is. 2 other quick things in the Central. Bob Nightingale is reporting that Davinsky received a 3-game suspension for throwing at Sal Stewart over the weekend. Don Kelly, the manager for the Pirates, 1-game suspension. So he's going to miss tonight's game in Arizona. The other thing is, just real quickly, let's check in. Rank your NL Central teams. Trust moving forward. Go 5-1. Which team do you trust the least in that division? Moving forward.
Unfortunately, It's a tie between the Reds and the Cardinals. I love the story of the Cardinals, and I think it's so fun to watch this team, and I hope they prove me wrong. I'm going to put the Reds in the bottom. Like the offense just isn't there. It just isn't. Sal Stewart, he was carrying the team with Ellie. He went through a little skid. I know he got a knock last night, but they just don't have, it seems like right now, they don't have the offense to kind of continue to go through the season and be one of these top teams like we think they could be. So I'll go with them. I'll go the Cardinals after that. Nice story. I hope it continues. But I don't trust them above the Pirates, who I'd have next, then the Cubs, then the Brewers. I'm just not going to get fooled by the Brewers again. Like, they're going to be my number one team. Cubs are great, full team, and the Pirates have been so good. The offense has been, they're like one of the top offenses in baseball, and they have the pitching to back it up. So I'm in on the Pirates, but not above those other two teams.
I will agree with virtually everything you've got, except I would flip the Cubs and the Brewers. I still think that the Cubs are the team to beat in that division, with Milwaukee making it as a wild card. Right now, by the way, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is Brewers, Pirates, Reds, Cardinals, Cubs. All separated by just 4.5 games, and everybody is at least 2 games over 500. So good for that division. That's freaking awesome. I love every bit of it. I think that's neat. All right. Dodgers. Their little road trip continued with a stop in Houston, and one former Astro continued to feel right at home.
Could be the barrel. There's the barrel. Right field and goodbye. Hello to Kyle Tucker and goodbye to the baseball. And his return to Houston, he's gone deep.
Okay, how important will Kyle Tucker be to the Dodgers' three-peat quest?
Extremely important. What does it take to win a World Series? Timely hitting, big hits, and the more tried and true hitters you have in your lineup, the better your odds are going to be to get those hits. It would not surprise me to see Kyle Tucker go on a run in the postseason and carry this team. And like I said, again, that's what the Dodgers do better than anyone, is they have guys that can carry their team. Offense is going to go up and down. And as long as you all aren't going through it at the same time, you can withstand some of these offensive slumps because you have guys that can take over an offense. Max Muncy's a guy that can take over an offense. Clearly, the other guys we know, Shohei, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, who we barely even seen this year, they can all do that. You add a guy like Tucker, and you could throw in Teoscar. There's so many guys in that lineup that can take over a series and keep the offense afloat, that it just gives them that protection against that in the postseason. That's what we see that happens to these teams. And they get in the postseason, all of a sudden the pitching gets pared down and they don't hit. We see that from every single year. The Dodgers don't have that problem because they're just so deep. I didn't even mention Andy Pages, who's also a step. They just have so many guys, and Tucker, he's going to be important, but he's one of those cogs. It's a perfect situation for him.
I have never thought less, meaning less frequently, not less of a person, but less frequently, of a $60 million a year ball player than I have with Kyle Tucker. It's incredible.
It's crazy.
I didn't even, until I put this question together, I didn't even know what type of year he was having. He's got a 711 OPS. He's got 4 homers. He's hitting under 250. That doesn't equate to $60 million. And you know what? Nobody is bringing it up. Could you imagine if somebody had signed a 4-year, $240 million deal in the offseason, was producing meh numbers at best? We'd be 5.5, 6 weeks into a season. The local press would be killing this guy. The fan base would be like, what did we do? Nobody notices because he is a bit player on this team. He's not a star. I got plenty of stars. I got Shohei to hang my hat on. I got Freddie Freeman. I'll get Mookie Betts when he comes back. I got Will Smith, one of the most consistent catchers we've had in baseball over the last 6 years. I got Max Muncy, who frickin' keeps climbing up the Dodger all-time home run list. If the Dodgers fall short, nobody's going to mention one damn thing about Kyle Tucker. Not one. And I cannot believe it.
The pressure, you're right, the pressure for a $60 million man has never been less.
It's incredible. And so, by the way, to answer the question of the three-peat, he's just kind of along for the ride. Whatever he gives him is extra. He doesn't even have a 700 OPS in the playoffs, I think. I think it's slightly under that. I think he's got 9 homers in 72 playoff games, which is fine. So it's not like that's his time to shine. Like, hey, we're going to bust him out for October, and that's when he's really going to crank it up. He's just okay.
And let's just play the name game, okay? Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Kyle Tucker. Let's name 5 guys who are like, incredible players. That's a deep lineup right there. The 2 guys leading the Dodgers in WAR aren't even on this hand. It's Andy Pages and Max Muncy. So yeah, I mean, the more you start to think about the Dodgers, it will be a colossal failure if things don't go their way in October. Like this team is stacked.
So I guess it gets me to another quick point. Doesn't it seem like a waste of money with Kyle Tucker? Couldn't they have used that $60 million a year and resourced it some other way? Because we're like, yeah, he's fine.
I just think it's a dominance thing. Like, we'll go get him because we won another World Series. They love the way World Series feels. And they feel like this guy gives them whatever it is, one rung up the ladder, more of a chance to win the World Series. It's worth it to them. They've made so much money over the last couple of years. So much. The Padres just sold for $3.9 billion. Franchise value, TV deal, Shohei Ohtani, playoff earnings. Like they're rolling in it right now.
I don't know. It's weird. Let us know about the whole. I mean, if you're a Dodger fan, do you even think about Kyle Tucker at all? Interesting. All right, we got one more thing still to hit, but first, this word from my buddy Trevor Plouffe.
Baseball is here, people. The days are getting longer. The sun is back out, and baseball season is finally upon us. Baseball is a game of inches. The result of a game hinges on 1,000 little moments, and momentum can shift quickly. That's why we decided to team up with Fanatics Markets, the trusted home for real-time sports prediction markets. It's simple. Just pick a game and choose an outcome, like which team will win, which player will hit a home run, and more. It's time to get involved in the action. Then buy contracts based on what you think will happen. Yes, if you think it will. No, if you don't. You can buy as many as you want, sell if the price moves in your favor, or let them settle when the event ends. So from opening day to the Fall Classic, no matter who you root for, Fanatics Markets is right there with you. Join the Baseball Today family on Fanatics Markets. Event contracts carry risk of total loss and changing prices. Not good for all investors. Not available in all states. Must be 21 plus. See important disclosures in Fanatics Markets app. Customers are introduced to Crypto.com by Paragon Global Markets, LLC. DBA Fanatics Markets IB, an introducing broker registered with the CFTC and a member of the NFA.
Trevor, thank you very much. Earlier in the show, we talked about how hot the New York Yankees have been. Except they can't shake those pesky little Rays who've been grinding.
Ryan Valade, and there's a shot high and deep to left, and that baby is gone. Home run Valade on the first pitch.
So the record says that Tampa is the second best team in the American League. Have you started to believe in them as a true contender?
I do believe in them because this is starting to feel like Rays baseball again. I kind of talked to Jake about this a little bit. They have extremes on their team, and that's what they like. First of all, the pitching has been great, and I think Nick Martinez is the perfect Ray. I think he's the perfect Ray. All those freaking pitches he throws, he's great. McClanahan back doing his thing. Up and down that rotation, they've been great. But then you add to this offense, and you have a bunch of kind of like complementary pieces, guys doing a bunch of different things. You guys, the guys at the top, getting on base. You got Junior Caminero, freaking swinging the bat as hard as anybody. Jonathan Aranda, who's really a very underappreciated player. But then you have Chandler Simpson, who could run faster than anyone around the bases. He just causes chaos everywhere. And we just showed the clip of Valade who hitting the homer. He's also laying down first and third bunts. Like they're just doing all the little things right. You could talk about Brian Baker and that bullpen. All of a sudden, he ditches his slider this year and becomes a 2-pitch guy, and he's had an incredible year. So they have back end of the bullpen, they have the starting rotation, and then an offense that can score in a bunch of different ways. And to me, that's what you have to do. We talked about the Dodgers and like, hey, they can withstand these offensive slumps because they just have so many good hitters. But if you're a team and you have an offense constructed the way the Rays do, like speed doesn't slump. You can get on base. You can do all the small ball, all these things. Then you have thumpers too. Like that to me balances you out and allows you to be consistent offensively. So I'm buying in on the Rays, man. Like they are a team. They're one of those teams that when you play the Rays, you know you're in for it. You got to be on your toes. Like they're back to that, and it's got me pretty excited, Chris.
I'm not excited. I will buy into the Rays being a playoff team because the rest of the AL stinks.
Okay.
I mean, it's embarrassing what's happened in Boston. Baltimore is not any better. We talked at the beginning of this show what a cluster the American League Central is. So I don't know if there's two teams that'll be good enough to make the playoffs. And by the way, in my opinion, the AL West ain't much behind that. I still believe in Seattle eventually getting things going. And if they don't win that division by 5 or 7 games at least, that'll be a disappointment for me. Maybe I put the A's in there. Maybe the Rangers. I don't believe enough in Houston and Anaheim. I'll see us sometime in the 2030s, I think. But my point is that there just aren't very many good teams. Now, I will say this. The pitching you mentioned has been phenomenal. Nick Martinez, I said the minute he signed there's going to be a bunch of teams that are going to be kicking themselves that they didn't get him. He was the perfect guy for a lot of squads to get, and Tampa was smart about it. Drew Rasmussen is a guy who I think is, you talked about Jonathan Aranda being underappreciated. Rasmussen is another one of those. I think the fact that they won't have Ryan Pepio at all this year, he's gone down for the year with a hip injury, I believe. That stinks. I thought he was really coming into his own as a major league pitcher. It's great to see McClanahan back. I haven't heard him have one of those outbursts, which kind of disappointed me. I would look forward to those.
Great post-game press conferences. Great.
Right? Incredible. I just don't know offensively if they have enough. You talked about their big three. You didn't even mention Yandy Diaz, who is...
Yeah, he's, another underappreciated guy in this game.
So here's the deal about Chandler Simpson.
Okay.
He is a nightmare. He is a nightmare for other teams. But his on-base percentage has got to get up a little bit. It can't be 329. He's got to be like a 3. To me, in my opinion, to be a guy who is truly a disruptor, he's got to be like a 365, 370 guy. Now we're talking about changing the entire complexion of your offense because it is Ricky Henderson-esque. When he gets on first base, it's almost like it's a triple. He has that ability, and particularly the way they play small ball, that's huge. So I think it's all on him. If he can up his game on the on-base percentage column, then I will revisit whether or not I really think that they're a contender or they're just the best of a crappy league.
Okay. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. I believe in the offense a little bit more than you do.
Yes. That's what I
mean, like, would I Chandler Simpson to up his on-base percentage? Surely that would help, yes.
I think that, like I said, I think that could change a team more than almost any team out there.
Give my guy Johnny DeLuca some more playing time, Cash. Sheesh.
Boy, oh boy. All right. That'll do it, man. Fun-filled day. A lot of stuff going on. Full slate of games. Everybody's back to work on a Tuesday, and we will be back to work on a Wednesday as well. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Wednesday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.